There, it's Karen Valencic live streaming. Welcome to all of you that are here live, and also for any of you who are watching later. So, my topic today, I wanted to explore a different perspective around getting out of your comfort zone. So, that's a saying that's almost cliche to me. Is you hear so many personal development people saying you got to get out of your comfort zone. And of course, it's the Olympics, which always reminds me about elite performance. But before I get started, I want to ask you, how many times this week have you been out of your comfort zone? And actually, I think life as it is, and it seems more so each year, gives you plenty of opportunities to be out of your comfort zone without actually choosing to get out of your comfort zone. So that's my take on comfort zones. But let's get back to performance. So, I am the creator of the Spiral Impact Method, and I work with leaders and teams and people to help them master conflict and do it with power and grace. So I tend to put myself into those conflict situations, and is it comfortable? It can be, yeah. But I want to talk about whether it's performance, whether it's you're wanting to do some athletic or art performance, or if you're giving a speech, or you're a leader and you're really wanting to be an incredible leader, and sometimes you have difficult conversations you've got to have. And I think all of these elements still apply. And so, thinking of again about, I would say, when I coach people, is performance is really about getting really solid in your comfort zone. And so, what do I mean by that? Well, if you are a parent, or if you can remember when you learned how to drive, you didn't start driving the first day out in lots of traffic. You probably went to an empty parking lot somewhere, because that is where your comfort zone is. And you wanted to surround yourself with something that was comfortable. Now, there's also the part about that you had to have a desire to want to do that as well. So I'm in the martial arts, and I've practiced Aikido for 30 years. And I will say, there's kind of a tradition in martial arts where a lot of times, if you wanted to practice in the traditions in the older days, you would have to show up and clean the dojo for a while, and then maybe you'd get invited. So there was a aspect of creating a comfort zone in the environment, and even more than the comfort zone is that desire to practice. And I remember, back in it was probably 1991. I showed up with the Aikido guys, excuse me, that I practice with, most of them still today. And they were throwing each other and flying through the air. And did I sit there and think, oh, that's too scary, I don't want to do that? No, I didn't. I thought, wow, I would love to be able to do that. And I can at this point, but I didn't start out doing it that way. But what showed me up, it wasn't like I was getting out of my comfort zone. I was really owning something that I really wanted. So that's all about, how do I get really in my comfort zone and have that inspiration and that desire, that intent to perform. If you've got to have someone pushing you to go do something that they view as out of your comfort zone, it's not the right time for you. You need to spend some more time thinking about it. At least that's my point of view. Now let's get to the Olympics. One of my favorite things, and I was going to do a live stream about power and force, and because I think particularly the Winter Olympics, with the ice skating and the snowboarding and the skiing, is such a beautiful example of uninterrupted momentum. And that's the true nature of power, which is rotational. And it's so spectacular to watch them when they do those things. We think, how could we ever do it? And they are not out of their comfort zone. When they're winning the golds, they are not out of their comfort zone. They are in their comfort zone. The same thing goes with if a person giving a speech, a great speech speaker, and I know this is true for me too. They are in their comfort zone. And I can tell when I speak, and most of the time I get there, but it's like, am I in my comfort zone or am I out of my comfort zone? And that's a really important thing to really learn. How do you bring that comfort zone to you? And of course, any kind of performance that you're going to do, whether it's downhill skiing or giving a speech or having a difficult conversation, it gets back to that desire, and you're going to have nerves, but I don't consider nerves before a speech being out of my comfort zone. I consider those nerves part of my process. And if I don't have them, I don't tend to have the adrenaline to show up and really give it the energy that I want. So those nerves are, to me, is energy packing. I have a daughter that is a public defense attorney, and we've talked, and she is so committed to the work she does. And it's tough work. And when she has to go to court, she'll say to me, she said, I know I want to do this stuff, but I get so nervous before I go up before the judge and the jury and all of that. And that's the same thing I tell her, is just know that you're prepared, and those nerves are what gives you the energy to continue going on. And so that's about being in your comfort zone. Doesn't mean you don't have nerves. So what about a difficult conversation? That's the same thing. And I think a lot of people get really uncomfortable when they have conflict or they need to talk about something that's uncomfortable. And that's somewhere when I coach people, and my model of spiral impact is just perfect for this, is the first thing you got to do is you got to get in your comfort zone. And that's through centering, that's through breathing. And that's not something you do right before you do something. That's something that you practice and you create it to be part of your life. If you're really interested in performance, that whole concept of really dropping down into your center of power is a crucial aspect. And so, and then there's the piece that's about intention, is what is it that you're trying to do here? And that's something that I remind myself before I do a live feed like this. What gets me through the fear is really revisiting, what is it? And as Simon Sinek might say, what is my why of doing this? Because I have tremendous passion around helping people navigate difficulties, people and teams. And so that's what my passion is. And so it gets me through to the other side. When I saw those guys doing those big falls with Aikido, I was excited because I wanted to be that person that could do that. And so was there a little bit of fear? Yeah, sure there was. That's what protects you. But was I out of my comfort zone? Not as I learned, because I had good teachers. So, I like to just think about all of those kinds of things. And again, the kid that's learning to drive a car, each day his comfort it expands. And so that's when he increases his performance. Now, I know the world has been watching, is it Kamala, the Russian skater, and my heart just goes out to her, because we know that she is an incredible ice skater. And you'll notice, getting into the comfort, she got out of her comfort zone with all the controversy, and that's when she didn't do so well. And unfortunately for her, I think, I don't know what happened, but it's a sad thing as a mom of daughters. It kind of breaks my heart to see what she's gone through. But when she's performing at her best, she is way, way, way into her comfort zone. So I do this just because I want you to think about, don't let people push you into something you're not ready for. There's another cliche saying, is if it's not a hell yes, then it's a hell no. And so if you're not getting a commitment from yourself to do something, revisit, why are you there? Why are you there? And then what are your practices in terms of really creating a powerful center for yourself that's really stable? And how are you developing yourself? And then also, what knowledge do you have about your art? And that's a part of it as well. And then who's supporting you? So the spiral impact model from a 30,000 foot view is to first recognize when you've got this tension, and you may not have enough tension to want you to move forward to do something, and that's okay. But if you want to do it, then you've got to physically prepare yourself from center. Get your balance, get your breathing, get your nutrition, get that together. Knowledge, you got to have knowledge about what you're doing, and really study whatever it is that you're wanting to be great at. Intention, be really clear on intention, because intention is what pulls you forward. Those Olympian athletes, they they weren't wobbling around their choice to be the best at their craft. They went into that with an intention of, I want to be in the Olympics. I want to be a gold medalist. That's their intent, and it draws them forward. And that's the thing that you should be focused on, is that intent. Because when I started doing this work, I would stand in front of a group of people and I would shake. You could physically see me shake. But because, again, I have an intention and I have a commitment around the content I want to share, it's not getting out of my comfort zone. It's more uncomfortable to not do it than to do it. So think about yourself and what you're doing, and don't feel guilty about when someone's trying to push you out of your comfort zone. Comfort zones serve a purpose, and just make sure that you're intentional. And perhaps their message is more, go out and try some new things. And that's a different kind of thing. And that's a good thing as well. So again, I'm Karen Balensic, if you weren't here at the beginning. And I so appreciate you listening in. And if you'd like to explore this further, get on my calendar. If you go to, actually I have a banner here. If you go to Talk Time with Karen, whoops, there we go, talktimewithkaren.com. There's a scheduler there for me, or just drop me a note wherever you happen to see this video. So go forth and enjoy your life, and be massively comfortable with yourself, and go for it. That is all I have today. Bye-bye.